We got the Houston Texans, the third worst team in the NFL, getting ready to be the worst team in the NFL. It'll be a close race between them and Detroit. But the Houston Texans hold the key to the rest of the offseason. What's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? They will trade Deshaun Watson.
He's going to be dealt. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
He's not coming back to Houston.
No.
The toothpaste out of the tube, that's not going to happen. Here's where it gets interesting for me. What are they going to do with the picks that they accumulate? Are you after Zach Wilson? I don't see a path, and I've changed my tune on this a little bit. I don't see a path that Houston looks at Sam Darnold or Tua Tagovailoa and says, we want to sign up for that. Because I don't think you can excite your fan base that way. You can excite them with Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Hadn't played a snap in the NFL. This can be your guy. There are ways to be excited. What I think is going to happen is they're going to wind up with picks, and it's going to be 3 first-round picks, maybe a player or 2 from the Jets. The Jets will end up trading Darnold, and it's getting harder and harder for me to think it's not the Carolina. If Carolina wants a quarterback, they're going to have to trade for it, one way or the other. You're not going to sit at 8 and have one fall in your lap. My next mock draft, I'll have 4 quarterbacks in the top 6. Because Philadelphia screwed you. They traded themselves into needing a quarterback.
Right.
And so now Carolina can't just stand pat. And with how aggressive Tepper's been, I'm struggling to believe that they're not willing to give up I don't see a path that Carolina picks at 8. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
And I think Houston's going to wind up trading up to 2 with the Jets. They take Zach Wilson at 2, and then the draft really starts at 3. Everybody's talking now the draft starts at 2 with the Jets. What are they going to do? On and on and on. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. I think you're going to know what happens there sooner than later. I won't be shocked if Deshaun Watson's the next quarterback domino to fall.
I don't think they do themselves anyone any favors by waiting any longer. And Houston seems all too happy to drag this thing out, which kind of frightens me. I mean, it would frighten me if I were a Houston Texans fan, knowing that this can't continue. There's no path forward for Deshaun Watson in Houston.
I would
the
agree with
disaster that this would be if they decided not to trade him and move forward. Again, I don't think Deshaun Watson's a guy who's going to cause problems. But I don't
think he will vocally. I think he will behind the scenes.
Probably. I mean, because how can you not?
I mean, but think about how many problems he's already caused in Houston. I mean, Houston's the pariah of the NFL. Why do you think that is? It's not because of J.J. Watt. He just said, get me the hell out of town. A lot of this, I think, is coming from Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
The Cully thing, the Cesario thing, and something that I thought about as I've been working on my next mock draft. Cesario was in New England. He's been working on quarterbacks all year long because he knew they needed one in New England. He saw Cam Newton take 5 snaps and went, nope, don't know what we're going to do. It's not going to be that.
Yep.
So I would wager there's somebody he's either already in love with or very much on the fence of being in love with.
The trade is going to be the linchpin in all of this. It's got to be the next domino to fall, in my opinion, because
it doesn't have to be. Well, I mean, there are a lot of other dominoes that could fall.
True, but to me, there's nothing going to be more earth-shattering than Deshaun Watson and where he winds up. I mean, every team that is going to be, like I said, there's a third of the league probably right now watching to wait to see what happens with this before they can make their next move. It's just the ripple effect of everything. And with so many quarterbacks changing positions, it goes well beyond what, Sam Darnold coming to Carolina would do. Because then you got to find a place for Teddy Bridgewater, and now teams are able to, negotiate with the Panthers to try to get him away. The ripple effect on this thing is massive. So to me, it's the next thing that needs to happen in the offseason. Other than that, I mean, Houston has.
Other than that, they're the least interesting team in the NFL. Because they don't have any money. They don't really have any free agents. I mean, the only premier free agent they have is Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Who is very low in my top 50, but he is technically in my top 50.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to get big money somewhere else. I'm struggling to see how it's not Green Bay, because Green Bay was the one team that was interested in him at the deadline. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, this is a blip year for the Houston Texans.
Will the suspension matter to teams?
I don't think so. I really don't.
I think they could shy away from that because he's going to miss a couple of games next season, right?
Yeah. I don't care.
Okay. I just wonder if that hinders him getting as much money on the open market.
It won't.
Okay. They obviously need everything. So everything's on the table right now because this is not a position where you're going to be winning anytime soon.
No. This is a reset year. So you're going to see them wipe the books. They're going to clear everything out and I won't honestly be shocked if they don't wind up with a quarterback. Mm-hmm. If it is a guy like Bridgewater or somebody like that. That they just, this is a guy. It's just a dude. If you told me right now the starting quarterback of the Houston Texans next year was A.J. McCarron, I wouldn't be shocked at all. You laugh, I'm not kidding.
That'd be awful.
All right, why would you put a rookie behind what they're going to have?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I see a path to that.
Get him killed, right.
Don't know that that's going to happen, but there is a path to that. We've always talked about there's one team that's going to be left without a chair when this quarterback shit spins out. Could be Houston. Mm-hmm. Could be Houston that just goes, screw it. We got A.J. McCarron. He's under contract. We'll play him for a year. And maybe you drafted one of these developmental guys, whether it's Fields or Trey Lance, and you let them sit behind A.J. McCarron. Kyle Trask is not a developmental guy. He is what he is. Kuiper's mock draft does have the Panthers taking Mac Jones, which is absolutely insanity to me.
At 8?
At 8.
Fuck
He has
off.
5 quarterbacks in the top 8.
That's insanity. I don't see a path for that happening, but...
I see a path for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You think Mac...
Actually, I lied. He does not have 5. He has Mac Jones ahead of Trey Lance. Trey Lance goes at 9 to the New England Patriots.
Wow.
So he has 5 in the top 9. I was off by just a smidge.
That doesn't seem realistic to me. Can you defend that?
Defend what?
Defend 5 quarterbacks going in the top 9.
100% I can defend that.
And Mac Jones going ahead of Trey Lance.
How many teams in the top 10 need a quarterback?
But why would you overdraft guys?
But it's the same question we've been asking for 20 years. Christian Ponder, Blaine Gabbert, Jake Locker, on and on. Johnny Manziel.
Right. I mean, I get it, but
because quarterback's the most important position in the league, and you can convince yourself that the guy available to you can be better than what you have. Hey, in all honesty, the thing that makes the least sense to me is New England trading up for Trey Lance. It's a developmental guy that they would have to play next year. By the way, Jimmy Garoppolo is staying in San Francisco.
Well, where did that come from?
Sorry, 49ers. John Lynch said it yesterday, and I had been hearing rumblings of that.
Okay.
That they actually think Jimmy Garoppolo can be the guy.
I think he can.
I think he's better than anything they could have had.
He's gotten them close already.
Oh, he's been to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's in that lower tier of second-tier quarterbacks, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Colin Cowherd thinks he's elite and the top 10 quarterback in the league.
No, he's not.
I'm not one of those. I don't subscribe to that theory, and I think it's kind of stupid.
No, absolutely not. Brandon Cooks. What do they decide to do with Brandon Cooks in Houston?
If anything, he will be cut. He's according to him, he's not taking another trade.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be back in Houston. I mean, you have to have a weapon, and they're going to have Brandon Cooks and a bunch of young guys.
Mm-hmm. But they can cut him loose and save $12 million.
And they might. I struggle to believe you're going to lose your 1, 2, and 3 receivers. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think you're going to put, no matter who the quarterback is, I don't think you're going to put him out there with Kiki QT.
Yeah, but if you're tearing it down, that money is very important because you don't have a lot of money to
but
deal with.
But he's a free agent after next year. It's not like they're going to build this team this year. This is a team that's going to be built through the draft if it's going to be built in any way. Mm-hmm. Because I got news for you. Free agents are going to avoid the Houston Texans like that building's on fire.
I agree.
You
with
think
that.
it was bad with the Jaguars when they had Tom Coughlin? You ain't seen shit yet. There will be players that don't even feel calls from the Texans because why? Why would I? I'm not going there. They got Easterby following dudes. Yeah, I'm out. I don't want to do that.
Cut Brandon Cooks and keep Will Fuller.
Will Fuller wouldn't re-sign there. The only way you're keeping him is if you franchise him, and that's not going to happen in my opinion.
Okay. Do you think they'll try to use the franchise tag on anybody?
No. They're not paying top 5 money to anybody because they're already paying top 5 money to too many somebodies.
Right.
This is a breakdown. This is get as much draft capital as you can get. Mm-hmm. Next year's going to suck, and I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna double down on what I said. I won't be shocked if AJ McCarron's the quarterback of this team, and they say screw it. We're after Howell or Keaton Slovis or Tyler Shuck next year. Won't shock me. Won't shock me.
Because they're guaranteed to have a top
I'll be
two.
honest with you. There are teams that think next year's draft class, in terms of quarterbacks, is better than this one. Mm-hmm. I do not subscribe to that theory because Trevor Lawrence is the #1 rated quarterback I've ever had in 11 years of doing this. Yeah, Sam Howell's going to be pretty damn close.
There may be some sense in what you say.
And Keaton Slovis is probably going to be higher the more time goes on.
You put off the rookie clock for another year.
None of it would surprise me.
Because you're guaranteed to have a top 2 draft pick, in my opinion, next year.
Yeah.
It's either going to be
especially
you or
if you
Detroit.
don't wind up with a Darnold or a Tua Tagovailoa or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm. It'll be you and Detroit. Again, everything hinges on the Deshaun Watson thing, but there's not a lot that they can do to make waves next year in the NFL.